Jubilee Circle's mission is different. If anybody has ever watched our live streams, if you have ever been to one of our celebrations in person, you know we're different. We are not like any church out there. We're not like any other spiritual community. Jubilee Circle, this is a spiritual dojo. This is the place where people come. They learn the inner moves. They learn the tools that they need to become the light of the world, to remember who they are, to remember that they are the light of the world and that their function in this world is to go out and be that light every single day. We are here to offer you the tools that you need to transform yourself, to expand yourself, to understand that you are the light of the world. You are the unlimited vastness of the holy. And we can help you connect. And we can help you find a community where you can grow, and you can be transformed, and you can transform the world. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Jubilee Circle. Welcome to the folks here in the building. Welcome to y'all out there with your eyeballs watching on a screen. We appreciate you all being here this morning with us because this morning it's a special morning. We're switching vias today, so fall is coming up next week. So the official start of fall, it doesn't outside doesn't even know about it yet. So. Right. Going to be a rude awakening to all of that heat and humidity out there. But fall is on the horizon. So this morning we begin our Via Negativa, and our theme, this Via Negativa, will be Seeing in the Dark. And all this Via, we will be exploring how our willingness to see the world differently, to see through the eyes of the holy instead of our ego, can help us bring our darkness to the light. So I invite you to begin this celebration this morning by doing one thing. Breathe deeply. It is in that simple act of taking a deep breath, you are doing something very radical. You're paying attention to the present moment. Your breath, when you remember to do it consciously, puts you right here. Bless you. Yeah. Sneezing puts you in the present moment too. But being in the present is one of the most difficult things to do as a human being. We are, if nothing else, forward and backward thinking creatures. We're either thinking about what we're going to do at some point in the future, whether it's where we're going to go for lunch or planning our next vacation when we can, or we're thinking about future events. If we're not thinking about that, we're thinking about our past. We're thinking about how somebody done us wrong, or how somebody did us just right. But we're thinking about how better or how worse things were back then, and then re-experiencing all of the feelings that we felt at that time. The holy, though, invites us to live in a different, more challenging way, to remember to breathe deeply. And be here right now. The spiritual sages tell us that God is as close as our next breath, and awakening is available in every moment. The holy invites us to live in that sacred space, not just now and then when we remember, but every moment. Jesus invites us to consider the lilies, how they live in the moment, knowing that all of life is just unfolding from moment to moment. I always think about my dogs and my cats. They just live in the moment. They're just here until they're not. It's not that we can't make plans. It's not that we can't remember our past. Instead, when we seek to remain present, we always have a way to see through any dark moment, whether it was in the past or what we might imagine coming up in the future. And when we can truly stay present, even for one deep breath, that's when we learn how to really say, oh yeah. Please rise as you're able. And as we begin, Every celebration at Jubilee Circle in a similar fashion. Today is no different. We remember the elements, the air and the water and the earth and the fire. And we burn black sage as a reminder to set our intentions, to set our personal intentions for how we intend to live our lives, and to set our intentions for how we are in this world, and the intentions that we would have come true as we move and live and have our being in this world. So I invite you this morning to set our intentions as we orient ourselves in this sacred time and space by calling the four directions.
Let us turn and face the east. Holy One, as the sun rises this day and every day, awaken us to the present moment. Instead of opening our eyes and thinking of all we must get done during the day, let us simply enjoy that moment of awakening, that moment when we take our first conscious breath of the day. Help us to take that awareness into the day so we may bless others with our presence. Quarter turn to the right, and we face the south. In the heat and fire of the South, Holy One, we are often keenly present in our own discomfort. Give us that same passion and fire to be in the present moment, to bring all of ourselves into every moment, to live our passion and fire for this life in each moment. Quarter turn to the right, and we face the west. Moments pass us by all the time, Holy One. Moments unnoticed, moments wished away, moments avoided or ignored. Help us, Holy One, to let go of anything that keeps us from being present. Like the stars rising from the west, this night and every night, let us become aware of the beauty of the twinkling stars and the beautiful sparkle present in every moment of our lives. Quarter turn to the right, and we face the north. We invoke the power of the North to bring us the wisdom we need to live in the here and now, not being ruled by our past stories or our future hopes. Holy One, teach us how to look ahead and look behind without losing the place where we are right now. Turn back toward the center. You'll find you may be here physically, whether in the building or watching on a screen, but perhaps you are living in the future or the past in your mind at the moment. I invite you, Jubilants, to savor this moment, because you will never experience this exact moment ever again. Give your full attention to being here now, then your full attention to being in the next moment, and the next, because when you can become fully present, that's when you'll say, oh yeah.
All right, I invite you to remain standing here in the building, lounge at will at home, and we will sing our opening song. Got a little yacht rock for you this morning from Seals and Croft. A little reminder that we may never pass this way again this morning. So if you would like to follow along at home or even here in the building, our bulletin is online at jubileecircle.com or on our Facebook page, so you can download that and follow along. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Life, so they say, is but a game, and they let it slip away. Like the autumn sun should be dying, but it's only just begun. Like the twilight on the road up ahead, they don't see just where we're going. All the secrets in the universe whisper in our ears, and all the years will come and go. Take us up, always up. We may never pass this way again. We may never pass this way again. We may never pass this way again. They say are for the fools, and they let them drift away. Peace, like the silent dove, should be flying, but it's only just begun. Like Columbus in the olden days, we must gather all our courage, sail our ship out to the open sea, the years come and go, take us up, always up. We may never pass this way again. We may never pass this way again. We may never pass this way again. So I wanna laugh while the laughing is easy. I wanna cry if it makes it worthwhile. I may never pass this way again. That's why I want it with you. 'Cause you make me feel like I'm more than a friend, like I'm the journey and you're the journey's end. I may never pass this way again. That's why I want it with you. We may never pass this way again. We may never pass this way again. We may never pass this way again. All right, I'm faking Larry out. All right, you may be seated. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We are so happy to see half of your faces. That's a lovely thing. Maybe one day we will see face to face, all face. But thank you so much for those in the building, everybody out there. We're happy to have you join us this morning. A little bit about Jubilee Circle here in Columbia, South Carolina. We are an inclusive, progressive, interfaith community. We are based here in South Carolina, but we reach the world thanks to Jim Mounts over there behind the camera, broadcasting us around the globe. So we appreciate that. Theoretically. Theoretically, we are broadcasting around the globe. Depends on our internet service. But we teach the timeless common wisdom of love and unity found in mainstream religions and metaphysical philosophies and mysticism, the teachings of inspired secular and religious leaders throughout the ages. And we seek to create a space, whether it is here in the building or out there virtually, for everyone to transform spiritually, to find life's deeper meaning, to love wastefully, to engage the world peacefully, and to do justice, all in an effort to discover how to live full-time, not just part-time or visit, but how to live full-time into our higher divine self. And we also recognize we are part of God's good creation. We are formed in not just stardust, but in love and in joy. And we humans, though, we're a forgetful lot, so we think that we look out on this world and we see opposites, we see paradoxes, and so we start to judge things as either beautiful or ugly, or good or bad, or generous or stingy, or loving and recalcitrant. One day y'all are just going to hang me out to dry. But anyway. No. Well, you try. So, but let us remember, Jubilants, our true function here. We are the light of the world, and that means that we have to dwell in that light and bring it out into the world. And remember that we have never left the home of God. We just have bumped our heads and forgotten who we are. But let us remember who we are. We are the light of the world. And when we remember that, that's when we say, oh, yeah. All right. So next Sunday, we're going to continue our Via Negativa theme of seeing in the dark. We're going to explore how to see darkness in the cacophony of chaos. How to see through the cacophony of chaos. I just like alliteration. So, so life is good. I don't have a song for that sermon yet, so it might be a songless sermon unless something comes up. Well, I thought, I could just write one. So we'll see. To invoke the muse. Coming up Friday, October 1st, we will have our first Friday open mic. Our feature performer is a guy named Richard Strader, and he will kick off at 7. Open mic starts at 8. Suggested donation of $10. We will serve you dinner and drinks, and we'll take up another collection for the performer. And everyone, I'm telling you, everyone has been so generous at the open mics. The performer gets paid. Our costs are covered. So my thanks to everyone who has been coming out to the open mic and helping us out. We're having a good time, and we're doing it as safely as we can. So if you feel comfortable, we hope that you will join us on October 1st. I don't think there's anything much else going on because COVID. So we had some plans to like do a retreat and stuff like that, but we've sort of put all that on hold just because, gathering can be sort of precarious. So in the name of everyone's safety, retreat at home. We might do a virtual one. I'm thinking about maybe just trying to put something together virtually, but we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. All right. Anything else? Just an announcement that Keith Edwards, our bass player who is missing, is in the hospital and he is doing better. He has been taken off of the ventilator, and so he is starting his slow road to recovery. But Keith is doing well, and we miss you, buddy. I want you back behind me. Get behind me, Keith. I want you back there behind me, Keith. So get well soon. And many thanks to all of the band, and Michael is back with us, and we're so happy that he is feeling much better and is back. So we've missed our sprinkles, so sprinkles are back. And thanks to all of the band, Janice Mewborn over here on the banjo and vocals, Trisha Fopp here on the 12-string and vocals, Bruce Clark back there on all the lead guitar picking, and Larry Farina on the drums. Yay. Give us some Larry Dust. We don't have any Larry Dust. All right. All right, so we should be good for today. We've been dusted. The band has really stuck through all of this for almost 2 years, so I am very appreciative for all of their dedication. All right, here are these. Oh, yes, thank you so much. I should have written that down. Yes, we do have a lady who has started a yoga class. Malika Daniels has started a yoga class here on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 6 o'clock. So if you are interested in coming and rolling around on our floor over here, you're more than welcome to do that. Bring your own mat, bring your own blocks and straps and all of your accoutrement for yoga. Bring your muscles, bring your tight muscles, and come and do yoga with Malika. It's $15 a session, which is cheap for yoga. So she wants to make yoga within everyone's budget. So come and do that. We're at 6729 Two Notch Road in Columbia. So 6 p.m. Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Come all three, pick a day, however you'd like to do, but come, yes. Come and get stretched. Jubilee's always about stretching you. All right, so we're going to start our spiritual yoga here. Hear these wise and holy words. Ding, love it. From the Hebrew Scriptures, Genesis 3:8-11. They heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden at the time of the evening breeze, and the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord among the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called to the man and said to him, "Where are you?" He said, I heard the sound of you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. And God said, "Who told you that you were naked?" From the Jesus story, Matthew 25:1-13. Then the kingdom of heaven will be like this. 10 bridesmaids took their lamps and went to meet their bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish, and 5 were wise. When the foolish took their lamps, they took no oil with them. But the wise took flasks of oil for their lamps. As the bridegroom was delayed, all of them became drowsy and slept. But at midnight there was a shout, "Look, here is the bridegroom, come out to meet him." Then all the bridesmaids got up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out." But the wise replied, "No, there will not be enough for you and for us. You had better go to the dealers and buy some for yourselves." And while they went to buy it, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went with him into the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. Later the other bridesmaids came also, saying, "Lord, Lord, open up to us." But he replied, "Truly I tell you, I do not know you. Keep awake, therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour." It's an ominous one, isn't it? From A Course in Miracles, chapter 15. Fear is not of the present, but only of the past and future, which do not exist. There is no fear in the present, when each instant stands clear and separated from the past, without its shadow reaching out into the future. Each instant is a clean, untarnished birth. in which the Son of God emerges from the past into the present. And the present extends forever. It is so beautiful and so clean and free of guilt that nothing but happiness is there. No darkness is remembered, and immortality and joy are now. Begin the practice, the Holy Spirit's use of time, as a teaching aid to happiness and peace. Take this very instant now and think of it as all there is of time. Nothing can reach you here out of the past, and it is here that you are completely absolved, completely free, and wholly without condemnation. From this holy instant, wherein holiness is born again, you will go forth in time without fear, and with no sense of change with time. These are wise and holy words. Thanks be to the holy. All creation is holy word. All creation speaks volumes. Hallelujah. You think I could say that in my sleep, but you'd be wrong. All right, new Via, new hugging song. I invite you to socially distance, tap elbows, however you wish to greet one another. Yes, bow. However you wish to greet one another this morning as we sing a new song called Darkness, Darkness. Here we go. 2. Darkness, darkness, be my pillow. Take my head and let me sleep in the coolness of your shadow, in the silence of your deep. Darkness, darkness, hide the yearning for the things I cannot be. Keep my mind from constant turning toward the things I cannot see now. Things I cannot see now. Things I cannot see. Darkness, darkness, long and lonesome, ease the day that brings me pain. I have fell into the sadness. I hide the tricks of fear. Darkness, darkness, be my blanket. Cover me with your endless night. Take away the pain of knowing. Fill the emptiness so bright now. Emptiness so bright now. Emptiness so bright. Darkness, darkness, be my pillow. Take my head and let me sleep in the coolness of your shadow, in the silence of your deep. Woo! All right, we got a few weeks to work on that one. It's going to get prettier. We've got several versions we're listening to. We're going to fancy that one up.
Yeah, we are.
All right, our song this morning comes from one of our favorites, singer and songwriter Jason Mraz. This song is called Living in the Moment. It appeared on his 2021 release, Love is a 4-letter word. Coffee is not a 4-letter word, but is just as vital. Java, hey, Java is a 4-letter word. Bob's doing my thinking for me today. Thank you. Joe is a 3-letter word, right? All right. 2, 3, 4. Do do do. Do do do. Do 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 do. This life is one act. Why do we lay all these traps? We put them right in our path when we just want to be free. I will not waste my days thinking up all kinds of ways to worry about all the things that will not happen to me. So I just let go of what I know I don't know, and I know I only do this by living in the moment, living my life easy and breezy, peace of my mind, peace of my heart, peace of my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. I'm living in the moment. Hey, Jubilants, where are you right now? I know physically, yeah, you're here. You're here in the walls of this beautiful place we call Jubilee. Or if you're at home, you're relaxing on your sofa, your bed, you're having some coffee, your breakfast, you're out on the deck with your tablet, taking in my voice and the beauty of this humid morning. But really, where are you? Are you actually here in this moment? Or are you already thinking about something else? If you're watching from home, perhaps there are other distractions around that draw you away from the screen. Perhaps here in this room, you're wondering when you can get that dang mask off, right? Perhaps your tummy's rumbling, you're thinking about lunch. According to Harvard University researchers, we spend nearly half of our time, 46.7% to be exact, thinking about something other than what we are actually doing in this moment. In fact, the only time that our mind is 90% focused on the task at hand, anybody got a guess? Sex! When we are having sex. And we are only 90% present when we're having sex. We're even not fully present then. Oh my God. Your results may vary. Your mileage may vary. But the researchers say. So being able to reflect on the past and plan for our future, it is a unique skill among human beings. Other mammals don't seem all that concerned with the past or the future, and they seem to just have this natural knack of being right here, right now. I mean, I take Cece as an example. She's just like, whatever. I don't know what's happening. I don't care. It's comfortable right here. I'm enjoying my life. But the skills of reflection and planning, they're pretty good to have. You know, don't get me wrong. We do need them. According to the author of this study, who says those skills help us learn from the past in order to avoid future mistakes, and those skills help us to anticipate our future and even imagine things that might never occur, which is called worry, of course. Our imagination, though, it's valuable. But that's all the past and the future really are. Figments of our imagination. They aren't real. Your past is not happening. The future isn't happening. The only thing happening is what's going on right now. That's the only thing that's real, is right here. Only this present moment offers us the opportunity to smell and to hear and to touch and to taste and see everything that's going on around us before it too just passes on into the realm of our imagination. Remember that time? Oh, but the past and the present, they're always with us. They're always clamoring to remind us of some past slight by somebody else, some secret shame we might be carrying around, or some story about how our best days are behind us and the future is looking pretty bleak. Or the future beckons us with the promise that things are going to be better than they are right now. The next moment will be better. Or promises us that we've got all the time in the world to live out those dreams we wish were true. Spending half of our time in imagination, remembering the past or planning for the future, it robs us the ability to be here right now, which is, of course, exactly what our ego wants. It likes to take us on tours of our distant and recent memories so it can keep us caught up in old grudges, old loves, old desires, old feelings of shame and blame. It loves also to tour us on our potential futures, to show us the world of opportunities that await us someday that keeps us from focusing on the very real and very available opportunities that the present moment has for us. But it's hard for human beings to live in the present moment. And so we hide. We're like Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. We hide because without our retreat to the past or the future, we feel naked in this present moment. And that Hebrew word for naked is arom. Say that with me. Arom. It also means helpless. Arom. No, that's Aaron. Aharon, yes, Aharon. But that word naked, it also means helpless. And that's often how we feel in the present moment. We're naked and afraid. We're fearful. Somebody's going to notice that we're lost without our memories or our dreams. We're afraid that someone will realize that right here, right now, we don't have it all together yet. So we hide. We tell stories about our past. We outline plans for our future, just anything to avoid being here. And God looked at those helpless humans and said, "Who told you that you were naked? Who told you that you were helpless? Who told you to be ashamed of who you truly are in this moment?" Well, the ego did. And the only way to overcome the shame of stepping into our higher divine self is to practice being present as often as possible. And that Jesus story, that awfully confusing and weird Jesus story, holds some clues for us. And Jesus, he loves telling confusing parables where we go, what? So let's sort this one out. The story concerns 10 virgins who were invited to a wedding feast, and they all arrive at the location early to be sure they get in. You see, back in these days, weddings were not just one afternoon or a few hours like Jim and Gail, who just got married yesterday, by the way. Congratulations to the newlyweds. Speaking of weddings, but weddings back then were several days long. You know, maybe we just need a big old party over at your house, Gail. Just several days. That's it. Yeah, really. And they're spending their honeymoon here. Oh. Anyway, so the weddings back then, they were several days, and guests had to be prepared. They had to have enough oil in their lamps to last this entire time. You can't just run down to the Walmart, get you some oil. It was also customary for the wedding party to gather together and go into the event hall at the appointed time, go in together. So after the doors were shut, latecomers just couldn't get in. That was it. So much. You know, it's like when the professor at 20 minutes, they shut the door. That's right, they lock it. So traditionally, the parable of the 10 virgins is read as a story about Jesus' second coming. Jesus, of course, is the bridegroom, and the time of his arrival isn't known. Don't listen to all those people who say it is. So the 5 virgins who had planned ahead and brought extra oil with them were deemed as wise because they have accepted Jesus as their Savior and they're ready whenever the second coming occurs. This is traditionally how it's read. And I have to read it fast because I can't read it seriously. So but this is what I was taught as a child. The foolish virgins who run out of oil are those who have rejected the gospel message and will be left behind when Jesus returns. Woo! There is a uplifting message. So let's read it differently today. All right. When we read this through a metaphysical lens, the story, it's a bit more uplifting. And it doesn't leave anybody out of God's realm. Instead, this story at its core is about practicing the present moment. I like how Eckhart Tolle in his book, The Power of Now, approaches this parable. He sees the 5 foolish women as simply those who are unconscious. They don't have enough consciousness to keep their lamps burning or to stay present. Because they can't keep the lamp of presence burning, they completely miss the bridegroom, which is the present moment when it shows up. These 5, he writes, stand in contrast to the 5 wise women who have enough oil or consciousness. So the message is really clear. Those 5 foolish virgins are us whenever we focus on our 5 senses of hearing. We focus on stuff out here. Hearing, touch, taste, smell, sight of the realm of the ego. In our ego realm, there is never enough of any given moment for our lives. Even if we try to be present, there's still this sense of longing for the past or the future. Our ego is always looking for more things outside of itself to hear and touch and taste and smell and see and experience. In our grasping for more and more, we miss what's happening now. Because right now is never as good as what we think we can remember or imagine coming to pass. But those wise virgins, those were the ones who had raised their consciousness. Their 5 senses were no longer under the control of the ego, so they were able to perceive the present moment as the only thing that was real. They knew that the past and the future were only in their imagination. They could not really be heard or touched or tasted or smelled or seen in their union with their higher divine self. Their senses were transformed to perceive that present moment where they could truly take in the beauty and awe of the arrival of the bridegroom, the arrival of that present moment. And they couldn't, when the foolish virgins came around and said, hey, give us some of that, the wise virgins are like, we can't give it to you. You got to get it yourself. Go to the dealer, go to God, and get that consciousness. I can't give it to you. The wise virgins were not selfish. Their consciousness was higher than the other virgins. And I can't raise your consciousness for you. You got to go to the dealer and get it yourself. You got to go to God. Raise your own consciousness. Be in the present moment. But you say, what if in that moment, even with all of our heightened senses attuned, what if that present moment sucks? What if someone in that moment is dying? What if in that moment you're lost in grief or fear or anger? What if in that moment you're in a car accident or some other tragedy? Well, according to A Course in Miracles, if your emotions are in charge at any given moment, you're not in the present moment because fear is not of the present. So we're just supposed to be emotionless robots. Okay, everything's fine. The building's on fire, but it's okay. No, that's not what any of this is saying. According to the Course, there are 2 ways to live. You can live either in fear or you can live in love. And everything that is not love is simply fear seeking love. It is a call for love. So responding in the present moment, however, doesn't mean we deny the reality of the certain moment, even if it's distressing. Catholic theologian Richard Rohr writes, the contemplative non-dual mind is not saying everything is beautiful when it's not. However, you do come to everything is still beautiful by facing the conflicts between how reality is and how you wish it could be. In other words, he continues, you have to begin, and most people do in their adult years, with dualistic problems. But he goes on. You've got to name good and evil and differentiate between right and wrong. You cannot be naive about evil, but if you stay focused on this duality, you'll go crazy. You'll become an unlovable, judgmental, dismissive person. We know nobody like that, right? I mean, we're both the wise and the foolish virgins, right? Sometimes within moments of each other. But he says you have to eventually live in a bigger field, a wider frame that we call non-dual thinking. Being right here and right now, it doesn't mean we're engaged in mindless kumbaya, hand-holding, singing, spiritual bypassing. Instead, it means we deeply acknowledge whatever is going on in the moment, but we acknowledge it with love. Because when we can fully live in the higher consciousness, we'll know instantly how to respond in love with any situation that we face. And that is the true power of practicing the present moment. Breathe deeply. 2, 3, 4. Do do do. Do do do. Do do do. Do do do. I'm letting myself off the hook for things I've done. I let my past go past, and now I'm having more fun. I'm letting go of the thoughts that do not make me strong, and I believe this way can be the same for everyone. And if I fall asleep, I know you'll be the one who'll always remind me to live in the moment, living my life. easy and breezy, with peace in my mind, peace in my heart, peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. I'm living in the moment. So I have a confession to make. I'm not fully present right here, right now. I'm not 90% here. You know, in this moment, parts of my brain are chugging along. I'm already ruminating about the past and, you know, and how I could have written this as a better sermon. I'm reading the lines going, well, I could have cut that. You know, there's a part of my physical body. I'm already thinking about lunch, too. I mean, what am I going to do this afternoon? But I suspect I'm not the only one distracted in this moment, other than Cece. She's having a great moment. And that's okay, because we are, as I said, we're the mix of the wise and the foolish women at the wedding. Sometimes we feel that present moment so deeply, we just never want it to end. And sometimes the ego convinces us that we are so naked and vulnerable in this world that we need to hide out in our memories or dream about how much better the next moment's going to be. But it's nothing to be ashamed of, even though the ego will tell you that it is. So how do we stop being so foolish and learn how to be wise and present? Eckhart Tolle has some advice for us. He says that if you realize that you are not present, the moment you realize you're not present, you become present. So all you have to go is, wow, I'm not present. And there you are. You're right in the moment. Simply acknowledging that we are not present brings us fully here. Things begin to get clearer. Sounds are sharper. Colors bolder. We may stay in that moment for just a few seconds, but with practice, you can stay there longer and longer. And again, though, our ego wants to know, what do we do? What do we do with these moments that we don't like? Well, Wayne Dyer has some great advice to remember. He uses the phrase from A Course in Miracles that says, I can choose peace rather than this. But Dyer is a realist. He admits that his technique, he writes, will not immediately mend a broken leg or undo an accident or rid your house of termites, but you will have proven to yourself in that magical moment that you do have the power to choose peace. And we do have that power, Jubilants. We do have that ability, like the 5 wise women, to raise our consciousness to the point where even in the midst of a present moment of chaos, we can actually be at peace. We can actually be the voice of reason while everybody else are the 5 foolish virgins and they're losing their mind. That's what truly being present does for us. It helps us respond to life, not just from a place of the ego's grasping or fear, but from that place of love that is our true, higher, divine self. Tolle says, at any given moment in your life, you have 3 choices. You can remove yourself from the situation, you can change it, or you can totally accept it. But to employ any of those choices, you have to be fully present, because if we're not, the ego just takes over the show. In one of her lectures, Marianne Williamson talked about how when the ego is in charge of the present moment, my craziness will spark off your craziness, and we're off to the races. We're bickering about politics or religion or the color of the sky. The topic really does not matter to the ego. It just wants to argue and feel right. I am right and you are wrong. You see how easy it is to become one of those foolish, unconscious women. But those wise women, they knew that to be able to make those wise choices that Tolle talks about, either leaving a situation, changing it, or accepting it, it is a skill that you must develop through practice. And of course, one of the best practices is meditation. It allows us to still the mind, to see our thoughts as a river, and instead of wading into the rushing water and just being swept away, we learn how to sit quietly on the riverbank and just watch the thoughts as they drift on downstream. And when we can truly start to notice our thoughts, then we can open up a space between when they are thought and when the ego takes control. If we can learn how to pause after every thought, not take it all so seriously, then we become like those wise women. We're able to assess this present moment from a place of higher consciousness, not from that screaming ego. We learn how to be right here, right now. There are other practices, of course. There's meditation, yoga, other forms of contemplative practice, or simply remembering to breathe deeply. These practices remind us that, yep, we are pretty naked in every present moment. But when we can fully be in that moment, we realize there's no shame or fear in it. Because our naked, capital S, self is our holy, innocent, and complete self. That is who we truly are. And there is no shame in that. So I ask you, Jubilants, where are you? Where are you this morning? Are you living in the moment, living my life, easy and breezy, the peace of my mind, peace of my heart, peace of my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. I can't walk through life facing backwards. I have tried more than once just to make sure I was denied the future I'd been searching for. I spun around and hurt no more by living in the moment, living my life, easy and breezy, the peace of my mind, peace of my heart, peace of my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. I'm living in the moment, I'm living my life, just taking it easy, with peace in my mind. I got peace in my heart, I got peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. I'm living in the moment, I'm living my life, easy and breezy, with peace in my mind. I got peace in my heart, I got peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. I'm living in the moment. Oh yeah. All right, Janice. I love that part. All right, I invite you during this prayer time. It is a perfect time to practice being present. So I invite you. A lot of meditation folks will tell you that the point of meditation is to clear your mind of all thoughts. No thoughts allowed. It's like hang a little sign out. No thoughts with a Z, no thoughts allowed. Like no girls allowed or no boys allowed. That's not it. That's not it. Meditation is about noticing. Meditation is about being here. Sitting on the riverbank, watching the thoughts just go by. Oh, there's a thought. Pema Chodron talks about just going, thought, there's one, there's another one. Don't follow it. Just let it go. Let it be there. Let it go crazy. Sometimes our ego is like, oh, I'll get you. I'll get you, my pretty. Yes, right. And your little thought, too. I'll get it. That's what you do to the ego. You toss a little cold water on that. It goes, I'm melting. So the ego melts away in meditation when you don't chase your thoughts. And if you do chase a thought, if something, I got to go do that, yeah, and if the moment you realize that you're chasing the rabbit, just stop. Come back. There's no shame. Do not judge yourself for chasing the thought. There's no judgment here. After a while, you learn. The faster you start letting go of the thoughts, then you can judge your progress. Oh, okay, I'm not following you. So I invite you in this moment. Let your thoughts go. Let them go crazy, because they're gonna. Don't judge it. Just allow it to be there. Allow space for it. It's just like a bunch of little kittens playing. You're just watching them. You're not picking up a kitten and going, oh, you're mine. All right, let's go. You're just watching them play. That's all it is. You're the observer. So just be here. Experience this moment.
Wasn't in the moment.
he was in some moment. Where were you, man?
Wow, that was weird.
Go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There is one breath. We breathe together, there is one breath we all share. There is one breath we breathe together, let us breathe as one. Let us breathe together, let us breathe as one. Let us breathe as one. Let us breathe together, let us breathe as one. Let us breathe as one. going to have our Zoom meeting coming up right after celebration. And be careful if you are a regular Zoomer with us after the vacation, after the celebration. Oh, I'm thinking about vacation, apparently. See, that's where I was. I was on vacation already. Somewhere, man. I had my feet up. Anyway, so after celebration, we'll meet on the Zoom. And the Zoom link has changed. That's the long roundabout way I was getting to that. If you have your Zoom link bookmarked and you go to the same room, no one will be there. No one will be there to let you in because that Zoom room won't be open. So the Zoom link has changed. It's there on the Jubilee website at jubileecircle.com. Also, there is a link on your bulletin if you downloaded the PDF for the bulletin. So use that link and not an old link. You may use this basket here in the room for your generous contributions. And there is a virtual basket out there at jubileecircle.com. You can give through PayPal. You can give through Venmo. And I know it gets old for people asking them for money because, that's what people always do. And that's what spiritual communities always do. But, it takes. It's the reality of the world that we live in. It's the little r reality. The capital R reality, none of us needs anything. We have everything. But we live in this small r reality, where the money does go make the world go round. So please, we ask for your generous support. We ask you to help us to maintain this building, to maintain this ministry, to maintain everything that we do here on Sunday morning. And it is only through your support that we get to do all of this. And so if we have meant anything in your life, if we have helped you transform in any tiny way, we just ask for a favor that you help us so we can continue to help you, so we can transform people to transform the world. Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. So you can join us on the Zoom here in a few minutes. If you are not doing that, we can Zoom here in the room. But if you are not going to stick around for that or join us on the Zoom, then have a lovely week. We hope that this week is wonderful for you. And I leave you with the words of Meister Eckhart, who tells us if the only prayer we ever say our entire lives is thank you, it will be enough. Because that's another thing that puts us right here in this present moment is gratitude. When we are thinking about all of the things inside and outside of ourselves that we have to be thankful for, we can be nowhere but right here. I am thankful for all of these beautiful people in the room. I am thankful for all of these amazing people who are listening and watching us from wherever you are. I am grateful, so grateful for this band. I am grateful for this space. I am grateful for all of the support that we have had throughout this crisis of COVID that has helped us to stay in this building and keep doing what we do best here at Jubilee Circle. So I am grateful this morning. And so the only prayer I utter in this moment is thank you. We all walk together, hand in hand, side by side. We all walk together with hearts and arms open wide. We make our way by walking, in love we will abide. The path is always open and no traveler is denied. So open up your heart, forget those tears you cried, because we all walk together, hand in hand, side by side. We all walk together, hand in hand. And side by side. Oh, yeah. Have a great week. If you're not joining us on the Zoom, if we are, we'll see you on the Zoom. Oh, yeah.